Starting to the bottom right is our Protoss player for GIM with a strategy that did not quite work out in game 1 with this proxy gateways. This is, of course,
LGIM YongHwa.
When he lost the last game, somewhere in a dark room in a corner, Atosis was crying.
I know he's watching this.
Yeah. He's up against one of the strongest Zerg that we had in an eternity. This is the Rascal Zerg, the guy with the smirk always on his face. Starting to the top left, cross position to YongHwa is the Startail player.
StarTail live.
There he is.
If you're a teacher, this is one of the guys you don't want to have in your class.
He's going to cause trouble.
He is a troublemaker.
Even if you try to frame him for something, try to catch him, he's just going to defend it, just like last game.
Yeah, just like last game. And talking about YongHwa's performance here, you know, at WCG, we talked a little bit about YongHwa dropping out of the group, and it was actually a little bit interesting to see how that happened. You mentioned the game against Mexet that he lost, but that's not the only game that he lost. He lost to Lower Lee, he lost to a Zerg player, and then a funny thing actually occurred. We had in the group a tie, a three-way tie, and YongHwa had to play the three-way tie together with Fire Zerg and with Lower Lee, and guess what? He lost again to Lower Lee. So against Zerg, he seems to be a little bit shaky, but this time he wants to go for a cannon rush because guess what? Life is throwing everything away that you normally do against Protoss. He's going for the hatch first and then pool, and this is what happens when you do that.
He's getting punished, man. Cannon's going to start here right now. Great position on the cannons, protected by both pylons. And he's not even going to cancel this one, actually. He's going to let that pylon stay.
He is a little bit afraid here. He does not want to take any risk, and Life can already kiss his expansion goodbye.
Yep. He may even cancel it. I would be surprised if he didn't, in fact, in this situation.
Yeah, he wants to wait as long as possible because he does not want his opponent to cancel.
He's checking to see if a second cannon is being made. And in fact, there is, of course, a second cannon going up at home.
As soon as the cannon is ready, I think he's going to cancel it. Actually...
He's got the drones here to make spines, and there's only one cannon, so he may try to save it.
YongHwa plays the smart. YongHwa waited until the cannon was done.
Until the hatch was done.
Yeah, the hatch was done before he starts cannon number 2 and number 3. This is going to be...
This is really close.
Very
I don't think anyone can call this.
Yeah, sometimes you are able to hold this, but the problem is we have 3 pylons to defend this, so pylons are not going to be the issue. We have now a 3rd cannon being built at the top. So all these spine crawlers should not be able to do a lot of damage.
Who's going to cancel first? Is anyone going to cancel anything if the second cannon is done?
Double cannon is now ready. He can't even just target it down.
He should be targeting here, not attacking the wings. Okay, he's going to get the hatch. There's no way he can save the hatch. No,
it's impossible.
And that's it. He'll cancel the last cannon and make a Nexus.
But you know, that's a lot of resources that he really committed to this. This is actually 750 minerals. With the cannon that he cancelled, the probe that he's losing now.
Ling got on the main base during all of this as well. That's a big problem. That's going to be something he needs to deal with very soon.
Well, the Ling can only scout, but right now there's not a lot to scout. It's like, yeah.
He already knows what's up. That one spine crawler actually is probably going to unroot immediately. If he actually loses that spine...
He has to unroot that and run away.
God.
He actually loses it live. What's up?
That is unacceptable.
No, that shouldn't happen. That's weird. Was probably at the bottom right. His Zergling got attacked, and I guess that he poked there, but that's the only thing that I can come up with. Live, of course, wants to get another expansion. That's what you need to do in this position. But he's at the same harvester counter as his opponent. YongHwa will have the expansion a lot faster, though, which gives him the better economy, gives him the opportunity to go for double probe. And Life is really in trouble. He gets the gas here, but even getting a 3rd base is now a bit tricky. He has to wait until the spine crawler killed everything. And as you can see, the spine crawler... Ooh!
Oh my god!
That was close.
That was close, man. 2 more shots on that hatchery, and he would have lost it. I can't believe he did that. That is ballsy, man.
Have a quick look at the spine crawler. How many hit points is he losing? If he uproots the spine crawler, he will stop losing hit points.
Yeah, he's down to 80 at this point. He actually needs to move it.
If he does not move the spine crawler, now he uproots it, and now the spine crawler doesn't lose hit points anymore. Okay. That's the one thing that's something that you might not know because it doesn't happen all too often. If spine crawlers, as every other Zerg building, are in the ground, enrooted in the ground, and actually are not on creep, they lose hit points. But if you just uproot the spine crawler or a spore crawler, then they don't lose hit points anymore.
Yeah. That's something that has been talked about quite a bit, actually. Blizzard
really?
has made some posts, about this, because a lot of people feel that in a late game Frost versus Zerg scenario, it's hard to kill those last buildings in a base trade when you've got Broodlords protecting uprooted spores or spines, but I think that they've pretty much decided they're going to leave it alone, which I think is fair. This Zealot is actually being microed really well. He wouldn't be able to win that fight, but he took it pretty cost efficiently. And he actually got away, too.
You know, I really like that YongHwa was flexible enough to go for this build, because that's something that you don't plan. You don't plan for a cannon rush against Zerg. Not unless you are actually Tails. Tails sometimes does this, yeah. He does it on Antigua, he did it a couple of times, but usually you don't go for a cannon rush. But if you see your opponent go for the hatch first, then you know that you have this opening, and
it was lucky, really. You know, he got the right scouting position, and his opponent took a risk.
Nice, that's important.
That was cool, getting that Zealot. The Overlord, though, is going to pay the price.
Yeah. Doesn't even move here.
Yeah, that Overlord is actually on hold position.
Life is still ahead in overall supply, and we have him with 43 harvesters against 40. The economy is pretty good for YongHwa at this point. That's something that definitely has to be mentioned here. And, well, 3 bases are now up for Life. The timings, of course, did go to hell. They don't exist anymore. Timings are non-existent at this point. None of these two players knows exactly about the timings, when it will be, when will the units be out, when will those upgrades hit. They have to go in and have to kind of readjust to what's happening.
He showed the Phoenixes, but now he's getting Immortals out really fast, and I'm not sure what this is going to mean exactly for Life, because he doesn't know the Immortals are coming. He's getting +1 for his Roaches. Just everything, like you said, it's off. It's not the normal timing, but it's as if everything is just a few minutes behind. Everything is coming out here normally, just getting all his upgrades in the proper order.
YongHwa was able to cancel this base, but the thing is, YongHwa lost more resources because he committed so much. And he had to commit a lot. He had to build 3 cannons, he had to build 3 pilots, and usually you try to get away with more, well, with like 2 pilots, you don't want to go for the 3rd. And every single pilot, every single cannon that you build, every single unit you send to the top left delays your own expansion. And that will make sure that you don't have this much momentum going on. YongHwa is trying to find the right answer here, because you know that your opponent's timing's off, that you delayed everything a little bit. But what is the right timing and the right composition to go for? He decides to go into 6 additional gates now, and will attack with a very, very heavy gateway composition, and of course those Immortals. Going for an Immortal push.
I worry for him though, because the Infestation Pit's already down, and if he starts Pathogen Glands right now, I think he will be able to get Infestors out barely in time to defend his 3rd base.
The thing is that Life does not really know what's going on, and Life is not stopping at the usual amount of drones when you want to defend against an Immortal push. He's droning up heavily after this, but he will have the first Infestors ready, and he just identified that his opponent is moving out. So YongHwa should be really careful here, because Life is a monster. He is one of the toughest opponents, one of the toughest, the strongest Zergs that you will ever face. And that's something, a lesson that MVP, a teammate of YongHwa, learned. And this problem for him is that the Infestors are now on the way. Yeah. And with the Infestors, you can double chain fungal those sentries.
The sentries, they get fungal twice, and you can kiss me goodbye. I gotta say, you know, scouting this is the most important part. He's already seen it, and that's more than half the battle in this matchup, in this situation. But he actually doesn't quite have those Infestors yet. And what is YongHwa doing turning around here? He actually could have picked off so much there with his first Immortals. He doesn't know that, I suppose, that there's not a bunch of links. He wants to wait for his Zealots, but if he had committed there, he could have actually started the fight early and then waited for those sentries to join in. This gives the Infestors a little bit more time.
He's 40 supply behind already, and this does not look promising.
No, it does not. He's even behind an army supply, YongHwa, that is.
It depends all on the force fields now. If those Infestors...
That's exactly what he wants, and he gets the second one as well.
He gets the second one, but a little bit too early. And he needs another one. Here come those funnels. Are they enough? 30 roaches are being built. The force fields are decent, but a lot of the sentries are gone.
The Immortals doing some decent damage at the back here. The rest of the roaches are coming down, and it looks like he's done it.
It's too late for YongHwa. He's not going to push through this.
Yeah, no way. The roaches are fighting on creep here. They have +1. 17 more roaches coming out. All the drones he made, 68 of them, are really coming into play here. YongHwa has one more warp in, but then things are going to be over. That Queen is out of luck, but the Immortal will be targeted. He's got no force shields to save it.
This Immortal push did not work at all for him. He's down to 70 supply against 130. The next round of Warbrinds is still strong, but just look at Life. This guy doesn't miss injects. This is one of those monsters that has the mechanics to just have enough lava at every single point in the game, and he reinforces with round of roach after roach after roach, and it's horrible for YongHwa.
Yeah, YongHwa doing great in GSTL, but he will not be a Royal Roader. He will not do what Life has done.
The silent cry of Atosis in our ears now.
Consider this though, he still has the up and downs. If he gets through to Code S in the up and downs, he will actually still have the opportunity, but he's not going to be able to do it as easily.
Yeah. Dan Samkowski, the founder of the ST religion and a strong supporter of YongHwa, he is sitting in a dark room and silently is going for like, why? Why?
He's preparing his next speech.
Yeah.
About the ways of Meg.
Maybe the ways of Meg, but the ways of YongHwa, at least for this Code S season, are over.
Yeah, it looks like it, man. He's
down 70 supply. He's on 2 bases against 4 in a few seconds.
He's in the Hongan effect right now, you know?
He's where?
This is what I like to call the Hongan effect, where you're down a game in the series, you go for an all-in, it doesn't work, and you have no chance, but you still just start blinking +2, and you're like, well, maybe.
You know, I really, really hope that Life is winning this now. Do you know why? Because if YongHwa takes this and then wins the series, we will never hear the end of it from Atosis.
That's very true.
Never, ever. Every single day, Dan will call us up and be like, I told you so.
Didn't you see the signs?
Didn't you see them?
Well, the force fields here are decent, but no matter how good they are, Life is still getting a better economy back at home. He's got another hatchery finish. He has burrow movement. YongHwa takes a risk with his third base, and Life doesn't quite realize it, but he's got him trapped, pinned in his base. He's going to drop some fungals, maybe even some Infested Terrans. He's going to get the Forge. Should just back out, though, I feel, at this point.
Well, he drops those infested Terrans, the Swarm Eggs, and there we go. The core is going to die right now. Then we don't see sentries and stalkers anymore. He's even going into the Spire now. We have tunneling claws for him. And guess what? There's not a single observer. There's no detection. When the tunneling claws are there, what can he do? What can he do now?
Nothing. Fungal on the Zealots. YongHwa does not have enough. The reinforcements are too much. Infested Terrans will wipe out those Immortals. 1 is down. 2 is down.
There comes the GG. GG indeed. YongHwa with a good effort, but it's just too much. It's just too much. Life is too strong. This kid is looking unbeatable once again. I don't even know what he did in Code 8 in the first place.
YongHwa had some trouble, man, but the thing is, Life is just not fair.
Life is not fair at all, but it can be pretty good.
It can be pretty good. It can be good and it can be bad.
As I said, life is what happens while you're making other plans.
Life can be harsh, man. YongHwa had to face it.
Certainly is.
Well, he will have his shot in the up and downs to maybe still get that Royal Roader spot, but at the end of the day, he will not stop Code S champion Life.
No.
With the quick 2-0 here, goes straight to Code S.
Yep, goes to Code S, and well, deservedly so. So, well played today, and this kind of is already the end for the day, guys. We are done with our matches. Life is the last one who advances. I'm sure that we get a shot of the results of the day in just a few seconds.
Yeah, we've got one more day of Code A. It's going to be tomorrow, and that's where we decide the last 4 spots.
Exactly.
And so here are our results for today. We're going to take a look at them up on screen.
Here we go. We started things off with the Terran versus Terran. Pold was able to win over the Caspar player. Baby with an impressive series against Symbol.
And of course, MVP taking out SOS, making it look easy, taking a few mistakes in game number 2, but otherwise looked relatively flawless. And our last best of 3, YongHwa with the 2-gate proxy, and then the Immortal push, a little bit delayed after a cannon. Life shut both of them down and takes a quick 2-0.
Great series today, good games, and of course tomorrow we have a couple of matches left for you guys. Keen versus Vampire, First versus Gumiho, Fantasy up against Roro, and last but not least, Genius has to deal with Curious.
It's going to be awesome, man. I cannot wait to see who is going to get out of there tomorrow. We've got a bunch of really cool potential players in that list tomorrow. I feel like you don't have your big name stars in here necessarily, but you've got a lot of players who are on the rise, and we're going to find out which ones of them may make it to the top notch of Code S.
Yeah. So this kind of puts the end to our day, to the Code A day. Tomorrow we will have the last day, and we'll see which 4 players are going to Code S.
This is the moment in time where everybody who's watching this looks at the quality. You can even pause it, and you can be like, yeah, maybe I should get a ticket.
Yep.
And maybe I can watch those VODs. You know, I don't have to stay up that late when I'm doing finals because I can get the ticket and I can buy VODs. If you buy that 2013 yearly ticket, you see it on here, you'll be entered into a raffle and you get the finals.
And guys, Christmas is coming up.
Christmas is coming.
If you want to give someone a ticket for the next year or want one yourself, tell your parents to get you one.
Yeah. You know what? Buy your girlfriend a ticket because she's always trying to watch StarCraft. She always has an excuse. I don't know where to watch it. I don't know what to do. I don't have a ticket. Buy her a ticket. She has no excuse anymore.
Guys, this is it for the day. I hope that you enjoyed the show. At him, at ProxyWolf on Twitter, myself, at Kaldor. And of course, make sure to tune in tomorrow for the last round of Code A before we start into the Code S season next year. This is it for the day. Bye-bye.